Do you ever wonder what it's really like? Truly. As we approach the final chapters of our lives, especially after turning 75, we're often told stories, or we imagine what it might be like based on movies or things we've heard. But what are the quiet, unspoken realities? What are the surprising truths that most people never talk about until they're right there? Perhaps even then, only in hushed tones. It's a painful reality that we often avoid this conversation, pushing it to the back of our minds because it feels daunting or even a bit morbid. Yet, understanding these hidden truths isn't about fear. It's about empowerment, about living more fully and intentionally now, and preparing for peace later. It's about taking control of what we can and finding comfort in what we cannot. In this video, we'll uncover 5 surprising truths about death after 75 that every senior really must know. Truths that can transform your perspective, reduce anxiety, and help you embrace this natural part of life with dignity and even joy. Watch to the end for something that will truly surprise you, something that can change how you view your remaining years. Now, let's dive right into the first of these profound understandings. You see, many of us, myself included at times, imagine the end of life as a sudden, dramatic event, a sharp cliff edge that we tumble over unexpectedly. We picture a movie scene, perhaps a sudden illness, a grand final moment. But here's the hidden truth, the first one we need to embrace for a great many of us. Especially as we age past 75, the journey towards death isn't a sudden fall. It's often a gentle, gradual winding down, a slow unfolding rather than an abrupt ending. Think of it like a beautiful old clock slowly running out of power. The ticking might become softer, the hands might move a little slower, but it's a graceful deceleration, not a violent stop. This means there's often time for reflection, time for connection, time for peace. It's not always a sudden crisis in a hospital bed, though that can happen. More commonly, it's a process where your body gradually loses a bit of its strength, your energy levels might decline, and you might find yourself sleeping more. This isn't a sign of failure. It's a natural part of the human experience, a gentle progression. Understanding this can relieve so much anxiety. It allows us to be present, to appreciate the quiet moments, and to not constantly dread a sudden, terrifying shift. Imagine Sarah, a wonderful woman of 88. For years, she'd worried about a sudden stroke or heart attack taking her quickly, leaving things undone. But in her mid-80s, she began to notice a gentle slowing down. She couldn't walk as far. Her appetite lessened, and she found immense comfort in simply sitting by her window, watching the birds, or holding her granddaughter's hand. There were days of clarity and days of quiet rest. Her family learned to cherish those calm moments, reading to her, sharing old stories, and simply being together. There was no desperate scramble, no sudden panic. It was a soft transition, allowing her and her loved ones to say all they needed to say, to share love without urgency. This understanding shifts our focus from anticipating a frightening event to appreciating the slow, precious unfurling of life's final chapter. It encourages us to find beauty in slowing down, in quiet moments, in simply being. It helps us realize that our strength doesn't have to be in what we can do physically, but in our presence, our love, and our inner peace. Embrace the gentle pace. Find comfort in the quiet. This first truth is about acceptance, about seeing this final stage not as a defeat, but as a tender part of the journey. And speaking of journeys, the next hidden truth often weighs heavily on hearts. Yet few dare to speak of it openly. This brings us to the second hidden truth, the unspoken weight of unfinished business. Now, when I say unfinished business, most people immediately think of wills, finances, or legal documents. And yes, those are important. Absolutely. But what I'm really talking about here is the emotional and relational unfinished business. the things that can truly weigh on our hearts and minds as we approach the end. These are the unresolved conflicts, the unsaid apologies, the unexpressed gratitude, the long-held regrets, or the dreams we never quite pursued. Imagine a relationship that fractured years ago, a sibling you haven't spoken to in decades, a dear friend with whom there was a misunderstanding, or perhaps it's a personal regret, a secret desire never acted upon, a talent never fully explored. These emotional loose ends, these silent burdens, can become incredibly prominent as time feels more finite. They can rob us of peace, creating a subtle disquiet that overshadows our present moments. Take Robert, a spry 92-year-old. He'd had a lifelong estrangement from his brother over a trivial argument from their youth. He'd always pushed it aside, thinking there was plenty of time. But as he started to feel his energy wane, that unresolved tension became a constant ache. One day, fueled by a deep desire for peace, he swallowed his pride and called his brother. The conversation was difficult at first, full of old hurts. But eventually, there was a breakthrough, tears, and a genuine apology from both sides. They couldn't make up for lost time, but the weight lifted. Robert told me later that it was like a physical burden had been removed from his chest. He felt lighter, freer, and ready to face whatever came next with a clear heart. This isn't just about mending fences with others, it's also about making peace with yourself. It might be writing down your life story, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, or finally trying that painting class you always dreamed of. The actionable step here is to gently, yet honestly, look at your own life and identify any of these unfinished businesses. Is there a conversation you need to have, a letter you need to write, an apology you need to offer, or accept a dream you can still pursue? Even in a small way, don't wait for a moment of crisis. These acts of reconciliation, of completion, of self-forgiveness, are not just for the benefit of others. They are profoundly for your own peace of mind. They allow you to approach your final years with a sense of wholeness, knowing you've done your best to tie up loose ends, to leave nothing unsaid that truly matters. It's about clearing the decks, not just of physical clutter, but of emotional clutter. This process can be incredibly healing and can bring a profound sense of inner calm. It's a way of ensuring that your journey towards the end is not burdened by regret, but supported by resolution and acceptance. And once we begin to understand the importance of making peace with our past, it naturally leads us to think about how our lives, our stories, continue to echo long after we are gone. This leads us to the third profound truth, one that is often overlooked in our discussions about legacy. Your true legacy isn't just about money or material possessions. It's about your story, your presence, and the intangible impact you've had on others. We spend so much of our lives accumulating wealth, properties, or valuable objects. And while financial planning is absolutely crucial, it's not the only, or even the primary, way we leave our mark. The hidden truth is that what truly resonates, what truly carries on, are the memories you've created, the wisdom you've shared, the values you've instilled, and the love you've given. Think about it when someone you loved passes on. What do you cherish most? Is it the precise amount of their inheritance? Or is it the sound of their laugh, the specific advice they gave you, the way they comforted you, or the stories they told? It's these intangible threads that weave themselves into the fabric of the lives around us. Your legacy is in the kindness you showed, the lessons you taught, the resilience you demonstrated, and the unique spirit you brought to the world. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She wasn't wealthy, didn't own a grand house, but she was a masterful storyteller. Throughout her life, she collected family anecdotes, local history, and funny personal tales. As she approached her 90s, she started recording these stories, simply speaking into a voice recorder, sometimes with her grandchildren listening. She didn't write a formal memoir. She just shared her life, her wisdom, her mistakes, and her joys. When Eleanor passed, her family gathered, and instead of just discussing what she'd left them materially, they played her recordings. Her voice filled the room, bringing back her presence, her laughter, her unique way of seeing the world. That was her profound legacy, far more valuable than any antique or piece of jewelry. The actionable step here is to consciously cultivate and share your story and your values. This doesn't mean you need to write a book, though you certainly could. It could be as simple as spending time with your grandchildren, sharing stories about your childhood, your triumphs, your struggles, and what you learned from them. It could be writing letters to loved ones, expressing your feelings and insights. It could be creating a simple photo album with captions that tell the story behind each picture. It's about being present, truly present, with the people you love and consciously imparting the essence of who you are and what you believe. It's about remembering that your life has tremendous value, not just in what you did, but in who you are and the ripple effect of your unique existence. This understanding encourages us to live more intentionally now, to focus on enriching relationships and sharing our authentic selves, knowing that these are the true treasures we leave behind. And as we begin to focus on what truly matters, we often find our priorities shifting in surprising ways, leading us to our fourth hidden truth. This brings us to the fourth hidden truth, a deeply transformative one as time becomes more precious. There's often a profound and beautiful shift in what truly matters. In our younger and middle-aged years, we're often driven by ambition, career goals, accumulating possessions, and planning for a distant future. We chase achievements, material comforts, and the approval of others. But as we age, especially past 75, many people find that these external metrics of success begin to fade into the background. The hidden truth is that a powerful internal recalibration often occurs, where the clamor of material pursuits quietens, replaced by a profound appreciation for connection, simple joys, nature, and inner peace. It's as if a filter drops away, revealing what was truly important all along. That fancy car, the big house, the career ladder, they often become less significant. And the warmth of a grandchild's hug, the beauty of a sunset, a quiet conversation with a loved one, or the simple comfort of a warm cup of tea become immensely fulfilling. Consider my friend Margaret, who, at 80, was diagnosed with a serious illness. For decades, she had been a meticulous homemaker, always worried about dust, about appearances, about hosting the perfect dinner party. Her life was largely defined by these external expectations. But after her diagnosis, something profound shifted. The dust no longer bothered her. Instead of cleaning, she spent hours sitting in her garden, marveling at a single rosebud opening. She stopped worrying about having the perfect meal for guests and simply enjoyed sharing stories and laughter over a simple bowl of soup. Her priorities shifted dramatically from external perfection to internal peace and genuine connection. She started calling old friends she hadn't spoken to in years, just to chat and reminisce. She found immense joy in the smallest things, a ray of sunshine on her face, the sound of birdsong. The actionable step here is to consciously begin that shift now. Regardless of your health, don't wait for a diagnosis or a significant life event to realize what truly matters. Ask yourself, what brings me genuine joy? What truly nourishes my soul? Is it a walk in nature, a phone call with a cherished friend, reading a good book, listening to music, learning something new just for the sake of it? Actively cultivate these simple, soul-nourishing experiences. Declutter, not just your home, but your schedule and your mind, making space for what truly brings you peace and connection. Prioritize experiences over possessions, relationships over achievements. This shift is not about giving up on life. It's about embracing a deeper, richer quality of life. One that is less about doing and more about being. It's about finding profound satisfaction in the present moment, appreciating the beauty that is already around you, and understanding that true wealth lies in the depth of your connections and the tranquility of your spirit. And as we gain this deeper understanding of what truly matters, we are better equipped to embrace the final, most empowering truth of all. Now, we come to the fifth and arguably most empowering hidden truth, the profound power of a conscious goodbye. This isn't about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about claiming agency, dignity, and peace in your final chapter. The hidden truth is that a good death is not just a philosophical concept. It's often a tangible outcome shaped by your choices, your planning, and your clear communication. Long before the immediate end, many people assume death is something that just happens to you, a medical event where others make all the decisions. But for those over 75 with increasing awareness of the natural progression of life, there's an incredible opportunity to shape this final experience on your own terms. This involves making active choices for your comfort, for your dignity, and for the way your loved ones remember you during this sensitive time. It's about ensuring your wishes are known and respected, allowing you to pass on with a sense of control and profound peace. Consider John, a man who, at 85, was clear that he wanted to spend his final days at home, surrounded by his family, listening to his favorite jazz music. He didn't want aggressive medical interventions if they only prolonged suffering. He communicated this clearly through an advance directive and conversations with his children. When his health declined, his family honored his wishes. He was comfortable, surrounded by love, and able to say his goodbyes peacefully, with dignity, just as he had envisioned. His passing, while sad, was also a testament to his conscious choices, leaving his family with a sense of peace that they had truly honored him. This conscious goodbye extends beyond medical decisions. It's about expressing final thoughts, blessings, and wisdom. It's about ensuring your affairs are in order so your family isn't burdened with practicalities during their grief. It's about creating a peaceful environment, whether that's at home or in a place of comfort like a hospice. The actionable step here is to engage in thoughtful end-of-life planning. This involves more than just a will. It includes 1. Having an advance directive or living will. This legally specifies your medical treatment preferences, such as whether you want life support, feeding tubes, or resuscitation. Make sure your loved ones and your doctor have copies. 2. Appointing a healthcare power of attorney. Choose a trusted person to make medical decisions for you if you cannot. 3. Discussing your wishes openly with family. Have those courageous conversations. Let them know your desires for comfort, for where you want to be, and for what brings you peace. This takes a huge burden off them later. 4. Considering hospice care. Understanding hospice isn't about giving up. It's about choosing comfort and quality of life when a cure is no longer possible, providing incredible support for both you and your family. 5. Tying up loose ends. We touched on this earlier, but ensure your financial affairs are clear, important documents are accessible, and any specific wishes for your final arrangements are known. This act of preparing, of having these conversations, is not morbid. It is an act of profound love and courage. It empowers you to live your final chapter on your own terms, surrounded by the peace and dignity you deserve. It allows you to focus on living fully, truly living, right up until the end, knowing that you've done everything you can to ensure a conscious, peaceful goodbye. Remember, these 5 hidden truths: that the end is often a gradual unfolding, not a sudden event. That unfinished emotional business carries significant weight. That your true legacy is your story and presence, not just your possessions. That your priorities will profoundly shift towards simple joys and connection. And that you have the power to shape a conscious goodbye are not meant to instill fear. Quite the opposite. They are revelations intended to empower you, to reduce anxiety, and to help you live your remaining years with greater intention, peace, and joy. Small changes in your understanding and your actions can make an immeasurable difference to your health, your happiness, and your peace of mind in these precious years. Embrace these truths. Talk about them with those you trust, and allow them to guide you towards a more meaningful and fulfilling experience of aging. What are your thoughts on these truths? Have you experienced any of these shifts in perspective or taken steps to prepare? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom can truly help others in our community. If you found this video helpful and uplifting, please give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel for more content that helps you live your best life at every age. Remember, life, in all its stages, is a gift. Live your best life at every age.